Hi, folks. My name is John Bailey, and I'm an alcoholic. And today, I am 1 year sober. Technically speaking, I went into rehab exactly a year ago today, and I did drink that day, but I still count that as kind of my beginning, right? Because I actually started my journey. I'll tell you, a year ago today, I think back on that day, I was freaking terrified. I was terrified to go into rehab. I questioned it so many times. I almost backed out like every day leading up to it, just thinking, let me just put it off for a while, but I did it. Best thing I ever did. One of the things I did while I was in there is I kept a journal, a daily journal every day. And I wrote a book. So my promotion first, my book is out, The Medline. It's 100% true. It's my literally daily story of what rehab is really like. So I'll put more information in the comments. I'm not trying to do a plug for my book. I really am hoping it could help somebody. When I was thinking of rehab, and especially as it got closer, I did as much research as I could, but there was nothing that like literally was from someone that I could find that had done it and recently done it and could describe it. So that's what I did. I wrote this originally for myself, and then my wife convinced me to publish it. So it's published. It's on Amazon. I'm also putting my email in the comments, so feel free to email me questions if you think I can help with anything. Or truthfully, I'm not trying here to sell the book. If you think that this is something that could really help you, if you're curious about rehab, maybe you're just curious, or maybe you're getting close, or maybe you're considering it and you're afraid. I was afraid, no doubt about it. I was, like I said, terrified. I think this book will really help. It'll show you, the good, bad, and the ugly. I mean, there's ugly times, there's really sad times, but there's really happy times and amazing times. So email me if for some reason, if you don't want to buy it, but you want to read it, I can send you a free copy. So with that, so what has a year been like? What is it like a year sober? So you got to realize too that, your life, your personal life, yourself, will drastically change when you get sober, drastically in every possible way. Your health, your mental health, your physical health, the life around you, the people around you, all of that changes. It's not always 100% going to be great, right? It's not like everybody is excited you're sober, but let me just explain what I mean by that. So let me first talk about the things that maybe were bad, right? And I'm not saying it was because I got sober, but so get sober, everything's, all of a sudden I have clarity, got a good job. Basically like 2 months goes by, I get laid off from my job. Was it because I went to rehab? Maybe. I didn't tell them that's what I was doing. I should have used, or I could have used, FMLA. So if you're thinking about that, that is one thing maybe to kind of consider, though you're going to be a changed person when you come out. And so maybe it's a good thing to change jobs. So I get laid off, right? Devastating. I knew it was coming kind of, but I was still, you're always surprised. So did I drink? No, I didn't. Did I think about it? Yeah, I did a little bit. But I knew that if I did, it would just be a complete waste of everything that I'd gone through, and I'm starting all over. So I didn't. A week after my last day, I got appendicitis. I out of the blue, no idea, just went to the hospital with massive stomach pains, went into emergency, got my appendix removed. Okay, so that was unexpected, right? And I'm not working at this time. So get lots of stuff done, focused on my book. I was really glad that I had that time of not working to really change things in my own life and to get a lot of things done that I just put off forever. And interestingly enough, fix a lot of things I had put together completely wrong. that, when I was drinking, I even told my wife at one point, I'm like, why did you let me do stuff? Because I would look at something and just go, this is completely backwards. I don't even know who put this together. Oh, yeah, I did, but I wasn't sober. So did a lot of those things, home projects, and then I had to get my gallbladder removed. How about that? So that happened a few months later. That happened actually about a month and a half ago. And that one was a surprise too. So whether the two had anything to do with quitting drinking or the years of drinking, I'm sure they didn't help. Probably the drastic change to my body, kind of everything's refiguring things out, and maybe that caused it. I don't know. But so out of that, got a new job, actually start tomorrow, super excited. Feel fine, nothing, no side effects from the gallbladder or the appendix, and it's all good. But I guess my point is that just because you get sober doesn't mean the world around you changes, right? The world is going to keep doing what the world does. There's going to be shit that happens. It just does, right? And the difference, though, is you can either drink that away and not acknowledge it and go into your depression state, or you can accept it. So if you accept that this is happening and this is out of your control, they say, the first line of the prayer is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And that's a fact, right? I can't change if I have to get my gallbladder taken out. So you accept it. You can't change if you get laid off, right? You just accept it and you move forward. And that's the difference of how I am today and how I was before. Before, I guess, the alcohol, I didn't have a choice but to accept things that would go bad in life, but the alcohol would mask the emotional part of it and the mental part of it. And that's not a good thing. I accepted everything that has happened to me. I continue to. And then once you accept something, it's okay. And then you can reason through it, right? Okay, so now what am I going to do? So it's a great thing. I've gone through before. So let me tell you about the great things. I've gone through before all the health things. It's amazing how unexpected that stuff was. I knew it would be good, but think about this. You're putting a poison in your body, like potentially every day, like I did. And your body can only take so much of that. So very first thing that happened, I lost 17 pounds in rehab. So I went in rehab, came out 17 pounds lighter without doing anything except being in rehab, but I wasn't drinking. And, truthfully, I wasn't eating very much because I was just so, upside down and just processing everything that was changing. Since then, I've lost an additional 30 pounds. I've lost 50 pounds since I quit drinking in a year. And it's been great because what happens is when you're not drinking, you don't crave like fast food as much. I really don't crave it at all. And once you start to lose weight, if you're in that situation, and if you've ever lost weight, you want to get healthy. You want to kind of focus on that. And if you start to exercise, start to watch what you eat, it just becomes kind of a natural thing, and some people that turns into an addiction, which, we could talk about that a different video. But the other things so before I actually went into rehab, I sat down and I made a list of the things that I didn't think I'd be able to do anymore, right? And you're probably there too, because if you're an alcoholic, every situation has some sort of alcohol piece to it, right? Whether it's meeting up with friends, or it's going on a business trip, or it's going on vacation, right? There's always something where alcohol's involved. And so when you think of that being taken away, all of a sudden your gut reaction is that you can't do those things anymore. And that's exactly how I felt. And so before rehab, I wrote down this list of things I wouldn't be able to do. So I wouldn't be able to go fishing, or how would I do fishing? I've been fishing since I was a little kid. And once I became 16, it always involved drinking. I couldn't go to Cabo. We would go to Cabo every year, done it for the last 15 or so years. And Cabo is notorious for drinking. I mean, you almost can't walk around without someone trying to get you to buy some beer or give you a beer, 2 for 1. It's all over. So I can't do that anymore. I can't, how am I going to fly? I always would get nervous flying, and that was a thing that, that was kind of my comfort. I'd get drunk before I'd fly pretty much every time. And I flew a lot. All these different things I thought I couldn't do. And I made that list. So let me tell you what I've done since I've been sober. So aside from the things I talked about that happened around me, which is really life itself, I did a business trip, 100% sober. Was extra nervous because it was my first business trip sober. I performed on stage 100% sober, which that was another thing I didn't think I'd be able to do. And I was a singer in a band for many years. And I would always drink beforehand. And I thought there's no way I could do this. And I did it. We went to Cabo, and I was really worried. I actually thought Cabo would be boring. And what was great about it was that we did different things. Like Cabo used to be, we'd walk down to the beach, hit a bar, down a little further, hit another bar, say like it's 1 p.m., 2 p.m., just sit down at a bar, sit there and drink in the sun. Next thing you know, it's like 6 p.m., you haven't eaten dinner, you're starving, you find some food and you're done. And that was like every day. Like every day was the same day. It was that. This time it was amazing. We did all these different things, we walked around, we went to different places and actually ate. We rented a boat, went out in a boat, a fishing boat, but didn't go fishing. We just rented the boat, just say, hey, cruise us around, and it was awesome. Did that. I went to Vegas. So we took our Vegas trip, which we used to do a lot. We used to go to Vegas like 4 times a year. And it was always an easy trip from Seattle, 2 hours, and it's 100% drinking. And I like to gamble, so I gamble, free drinks, boom, 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 just nonstop. And really that's what I would do the whole time. I'll be honest, Vegas was a little bit not as exciting. It partially because they were under a lot of construction, but also just the difference of, I still gambled, didn't drink, drank a lot of coffee, which is fine. But I had a great time. We did a lot of walking around. If it wasn't for the construction, that would have been better. Went and saw like a comedian, and it was great. It was different. Not something I'd necessarily need to do 4 times a year now, like I did. Cabo, absolutely. Vegas, once a year, once every couple of years. So I guess my point is that you can do all of those things. You're not going to have to give up anything except the alcohol, right? There may be some times too, depending on your friends, that they may have a different reaction, about your stopping drinking, especially if it was a major focus with them. But truthfully, and this is kind of hitting hard, but are they really your friends if that's why they don't want to be your friend anymore? I found I met up with several different friends. Then we used to always meet up and have beers, and told them, and it was like, oh, that's good for you. That's great. I'm really happy for you. And it was nothing, And so those are real friends. So that's something to think about. And maybe, if you're getting to the point where you're getting close to going to rehab or quitting, just kind of maybe do a mental circle of your friends and just wonder, what they're going to say, which ones might say something. And if they do, that's okay. That's on them. That has nothing to do with you personally. So I wanted to say that you can do this. I mean, a year ago, I really didn't think I could. And to be honest, I didn't want to. I didn't want to out of fear. I also didn't want to because I couldn't envision what life would look like, right? And that's what I just am kind of outlined for you. You know, the world around you is not going to change. It's going to continue doing what it does, but you're going to change. And so how you react to the world is completely different. I mean, the things that went away, I've said this before, but I can't overemphasize how incredible these are. These are anxiety, 100% gone. Clarity, 100%. Clarity was the first thing that came. Clarity probably came like day 16. And then ever since then, it's gotten better. And it's hard to explain what clarity means if you haven't been a drinker. But when you have clarity, it's like you realize, oh my God, I was just dimmed for years, you know, and now I'm clarity. Health, obviously, I've gone into that. Aside from all the blood and the liver help that you do to your body, because your liver will repair, your blood levels will go back down. There's also just the physical health, you know, of getting healthy. You're going to lose weight, even, you know, especially if you drink beer, but you're just naturally going to, because you're not taking in this poison and these empty calories and not having these cravings. So doing great. 1 year, I'm still an alcoholic. I've accepted that fact, and you know, that is a fact. If you're an alcoholic, you will always be an alcoholic. There is no such thing as just one, as they say. And you know what? I don't at all miss it, at all. Every day, I am grateful for the day. And I pray every morning. I thank God for the day that's about to begin. And every night I pray and I thank God for that day. Like, God, what a great day. Thank you. It doesn't even matter what happened. It could be raining, and I can see, because of clarity, I can see beauty in things like the rain and beauty in things like crickets chirping late at night. So it's a great feeling. And I really, really hope, if you're watching this and you're in a place that I was, that this may help you and you take the next step. So I suggest rehab. Please read my book if you're just curious, if you're maybe thinking about it, or if you're worried about it. It'll really paint a very, very clear picture. And again, I'll put my email in there. Feel free to hit me up with questions. If there's anything I can help with, I'm happy to. And yeah, 1 year. So many, many more to come. Thanks.